A very pleasant evening to one and all present here. I have found both freedom and safety in my minds. The freedom of loneliness, the safety from being understood. For those who understand us and say something in this. With the same feeling and same theme, we are here for the United Nations Youth Community's 9th Demo Speak on the topic, does confinement of girls and women ensure their safety and well-being?
Let's forget about e-teasing and molestation. Let's take our home, Nithya, as an example. Sure, there were many NGOs and organizations and NGOs before that incident. Change is followed by a catastrophe. And many of the facts like December 16 are make women stay at hostels and homes. Change shouldn't be brought by any of these extreme circumstances. Change should be brought from the very fragment of our society. At last, I would like to quote, parents do trust their daughters, but what parents doesn't trust is the society.
In a rape, girls deny it first, then they have fun. Unquote. And quote, we're boys, we're men, we make mistakes. Unquote. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to India, where there is this kind of widespread mentality against women. And these are not just random quotes from random people from random streets. These are our ministers who are saying these kinds of things. And in such a place, in such a country with these kinds of thoughts, you want women to have freedom of movement. And to those who say situations won't escalate to such a point, tell that to the girl who was brutally raped in such a way that her intestines had to be surgically removed. Tell that to the 15-year-old girl who was raped and hung from a tree, left free. Do you think girls are safe here? No. And giving girls freedom of movement in such kind of society only means giving these kinds of wolves more opportunities to roam freely. Ladies and gentlemen, my parents sleep safely at night just because they know that I am safe under curfew rule of hostel. There are wardens, there are security guards who are going to keep me safe, and so are your parents and your parents and your parents as well. So this is why we say confinement and curfews are necessary, not because girls aren't independent enough or not because girls aren't brave or bold enough, but because the society itself is not safe enough for us. Thank you very much.
It's meant if they are confined to home, then please, we read in news that even domestic violence happens at home. Harassments in family takes place. So what is a secure place? I would like to say this point, if the reckless driving of a guy leads him to death, are men confined? Is it in safety? Life isn't valuable?
And today I'm here to speak in a neutral motion. So before I start, I would like to describe a right that as per our constitution, we have a right to freedom. But do you think that for the girls or for the females, are we free? Are we experiencing that freedom? I don't think so. We don't. And as far as both the teams said about against the motion and for the motion, I appreciate their points. But somewhere or the other, as we all know that every coin has its two sides and excess of everything is really bad.
Why are not studying in your hostels? Just think about it. Because of these issues, the campaigns like Pinjra Tod Andolan, that was started, and it was only because that girls were restricted only to their hostels. Like, for example, take an example of LP only. The girls are supposed to go back till 6. And why? Because of their safety. Because they want a secure environment for the girls. Oh my God, boys are secured till 8 o'clock, till 3 a.m. in the morning, but girls are not secured. Kids too, they have strange rules. Like, for every single mistake, they'll be called to the warden's room. Okay, so now I would like to end up that there should be rules, but they should be taken only as rules and not as restrictions. Thank you.
Ask you that there are so many rape survivors, or there are so many sexual assault survivors, there are so many domestic violence survivors who have made the past behind them and now they are leading a very successful life. Yes, they have a past, but then they have overcome it. So in what way would you say that they would not be able to live with it?
is what you're saying is true. There are rape survivors, there are people who are survivors of domestic abuse. We're trying to prevent that. Why create such a situation that they have to be survivors at all? Why can't they be girls, not rape survivors or domestic violence survivors? Thank you.
And I'm sorry, I'm going to have to direct it to you since you're the only one who's been answering questions. So the proposition answered by saying that physical strength is the most important characteristic that any one person can possess, pretty much, right? And that it is what defines whether a person succeeds or doesn't succeed. Well, if that was the case, how many of you watch wrestling matches? I'm sure everyone has seen it at some point in time. Does the strongest wrestler always win? Or does the strongest or bulkiest hitman is he always the best? No, physical strength, and if tasers and all of pepper sprays and all of those things don't matter, then the amount of armory or weaponry we have when we go to wars shouldn't matter either. So,
you say physical. If you would have heard me properly, then you would have also known that I said physical strength matters when such a situation is happening. Let's just say the situation. When a guy is actually forcing himself on a girl, do you think physical strength isn't what the girl needs? Or do you think the girl can just say a sarcastic comment and the guy will just go away? Thank you so much.
I'm very sorry, ma'am.
I mean, you say you're supporting this thing that we should actually put this time constraint on girls. So, I mean, if you get this support, I mean, why don't this? I mean, I said this point also, and why can't this be put on guys? Because if you're telling that girls should come after this time and this is not a safe society for girls, you're actually putting that idea in the head of a girl. So why can't that change? Because if that will change, because I think the mind is the controller of everything, and if you can change this time constraint, you can actually build in this idea in the girl's mind that you are actually strong, you can go ahead and fight with people. Why can't this go the other way around? That's the very simple question.
It's not a question here, it's an answer to your question. You said that why boys cannot be controlled or why boys cannot be caged, right? It's a point I agree to you, but what happens? This will be a very gradual process which can be done. From now, it's a new generation. From now, we can do when a child is born, we can put in his mind, into a boy's mind that yes, you have to respect the girl. As she said that girls are very delicate creature. So we have to tell them that you need to respect girls. In this way, the society can be transformed. But in a very sudden scenario, we cannot tell the boys to go in the hostel and stay over there.
Over here said that it's about the mentality of men. It's about the mentality. Yeah. So yes. So like the core team is ultimately they are very firm with their decision of caging women inside the four walls of their respective houses and their hostels, which apparently keep them very, very safe. So yeah, since they're considering this the last, I believe this should be the last option. But then there comes this factor called mentality. So instead of caging women and ultimately developing this negative idea in the face of the entire humanity that yes, we are the weaker sex. Yes, we are incapable of our self-protection. Yes, we are the ones who will be always ranked below the men. If this idea is already incorporated, why not educate everyone? Education is the first and the foremost and should be the most important point which should be considered right now. It's about educating every single one. It's not about getting the degree. It's about telling men and women alike how women and men are equal. When a child is born, he is, right from the very beginning, somehow the idea is incorporated in his mind that yes, women is the weaker sex. Instead of doing that, if we teach men and women alike that both the genders are equal, we should be fighting against sexism. Yeah, both the genders are equal. If this is taught from the very beginning, I don't see how there should be problem in the long run. Yes, of course, we've been having this situation since time immemorial, long time back. But this is the time to change. I would like to ask the four team, would you consider educating people and then finding a solution as one of the options rather than caging them?
First of all, I do not like the way each and every one of the against and the neutral team who have come up here and they're saying that we are caging these women. We are not caging these women, by the way. I live in a hostel. I have curfews. I have to go back to the hostel 6 o'clock at the dot. But I do not feel caged. Why? I have a canteen inside. I can go and eat anytime I want. I have a tuck shop inside where I can get anything that I want. I have friends inside. I have a garden. I have a parlor in the GH5 and GH6. These women are not being caged. Why do we have this mentality that these women are being caged? Rather, why do not we have this mentality that these kinds of places are safe places?
Empowerment of women by putting them under constraints. Now that is very ironical in the first place. Now when we talk about something that if you are saying directly to the proposition, you are saying that in the hostel, why do I need to go outside because I get everything inside the hostel, I get food, I get entertainment. But when on the other hand the reality check is, ladies and gentlemen, that their friends are roaming outside, they are going on trips, but they are sitting inside the hostel regretting, I wish I would not live inside the hostel, I wish I would not live in this prison so that I can, like them, go on trips and enjoy my rights for being independent. Now, next thing is this, someone here mentioned about Pinjra Tod. I respect that initiative and I think that initiative should come to LPU, but as Piyush said, that right now this should start from women itself. If something like that come here and we are not united, by we I mean women are not united, then this cannot work out. Basically, it's so easy to come here and speak that yes, we should stand for ourselves, we should empower ourselves, but something if it comes here, then we fail to stand for ourselves, we fail to unite, and that is where we lack. So if this is the first thing that we should do, we should take a stand for ourselves. If something like that come here, then we should support it, then we should initiate it, and that's where we're gonna...
We didn't get to reply to any of those, but we don't have time for that now. I'll just say that even if a woman is in that situation where she's being raped, at that exact moment, it is not just physical strength that determines whether or not she will escape. And because we refuse to acknowledge this, perhaps it's because we are afraid to confront our own limitations and fear, because we are afraid, what if we try to do this and we fail? We are afraid to confront this, and that's why we are holding ourselves back.
Actually, our entire team stance throughout the debate has been that yes, confinement and curfews in hostels and institutes are necessary because society is not safe enough. That has been our main team stance. And I thank the against team and the neutral team for actually justifying our stance that yes, the society is not safe enough. Thank you for actually agreeing with our point, and that is why we have won. Thank you.
To a certain point, I do agree with all of you that it is needed, but it should be removed. Like, I agree that the society has failed and they need to be safe when put in jails, let's say, to be safe. But when I have a daughter, I would want her to not think of all these. I would want her to go wherever she wants without having to think what would happen to her. I would want her to go with her friends and not be afraid of a gang of guys. I would want her to dress up as nicely as she wants, because hey, it's your life. No one else has a right to decide when you will come back. If you want to come back late, it should be fine by me. I should not need to look at the phone screen waiting for her call the whole night long. That is my view of the future, that's it. With this,
you educate a man, you educate a woman, you educate this entire generation. So let's educate the women and educate this generation.
बात है बरसों पुरानी, अब कहाँ मानेगा? और चांद तारे झील में शब भर नहाते थे कभी, ये जमी थी आसमानी, अब कहाँ मानेगा? ये हिंदुस्तान की वही धरती है जहाँ पर जिस धरती ने महारानी लक्ष्मीबाई, इंदिरा गांधी और कलरन चावला को पैदा किया। तो इसका मतलब जो हमारे आज के लोग कह रहे हैं कि हम महिलाओं को सशक्तिकरण करना चाहिए, जो लोग बोलते हैं कि हमें घरों से हिंसा को हटाना चाहिए, महोदय ये बोलने से नहीं होगा, करने से होगा। जब तक आप अपने पिता के सामने, जब आपकी माँ आपकी रसोई में चाय बनाती है और आपके पिता बरामदे में बैठ के चाय की चुस्कियां लगाते हैं, जब तक आप उनके सामने खड़े होकर ये नहीं बोल सकते कि पिताजी आप उठिए और अपनी माँ का हाथ बटाइए, तब तक आप यहाँ ये कहने के हकदार नहीं है कि हमें महिला का सशक्तिकरण करना चाहिए। और सबसे पहले कि अगर महिलाओं का सशक्तिकरण करना है, वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट बढ़ाना है, तो सबसे पहले कदम जो उठाना पड़ेगा वो महिलाओं को उठाना पड़ेगा। जब तक एक माँ एक बेटी की बदले, जब तक बेटे की चाह रखेगी, तब तक महिला सशक्तिकरण नहीं हो सकता। जब तक एक सास अपनी बहू के लिए अपनी सोच को नहीं बदलेगी, तब तक महिला का सशक्तिकरण नहीं हो सकता। तो सबसे पहले महिलाओं को अपनी सोच बदलने की आवश्यकता है, और उसके बाद हमें पुरुष समाज को मजबूर कर दें कि वो भी अपनी सोच बदले, तब जाकर कहीं महिलाएं हमारी सुरक्षित हो पाएंगी और ये 4 दीवारों की जो रूल है हम उनको हटा पाएंगे।
Water. She knows nothing of borders and cares nothing about rules or regulation. Time for her isn't something to fight against. Her life flows clean, with passion like fresh water. She is a girl, yes, she is a girl. She is a power, and power needs to act. Power cannot be contained or confined. She has to grow, she has to develop. As for all the girls, you must break everything for freedom, and you give everything for your passion. Loving everything that your hearts and bodies love. The only thing higher for a girl, other than the freedom and her passion, should be her dream, should be her life that should be poetrified. Surrendering everything, she has to create a life as beautiful as a dream that dances in her own imagination. Girl power, in my mind, is to let the girls what exactly they are. Let them be angry, let them be resentful, let them be rebellious, let them be loving, let them be hard, let them be soft, sad and silly. Let them be wrong, let them be right, let them be everything, because they are everything. The only thing she needs from you is a little support. Support both from your side and from their side themselves. Take a stand, get up and rise up for Girls Up. Thank you. Now,
it feels great to be here today amongst you all. I know you all are expecting some great speech that will blow your mind. But to be true, I'm not that great with words. And I know how it feels to be at the receiving end of a long speech. So I am going to keep it short and simple. I'm going to talk about two things today. Only two things. One, how incredible women are. Two, how incredible we women can be. Over the years, women have risen from being the typical caged housewives to businesswomen, and they are indulging in all other jobs that the world cannot even begin to think about. We have amazing women like Anna Wintour, Kalpana Chawla, Michelle Obama, and many more taking over the world. And if you don't know these people, it's fine. We have our own female teachers to look up to. How incredible women are, we know. But how incredible we women can be is something I want to tell you all about through the launch of this UNYC Girl Up campaign. UNYC Girl Up campaign is not your average chip of the block. It is a campaign that involves voicing out the ideals of women and making them stand on a platform that is equal to men and no less. I could go on honestly, but I think it is best to experience things for ourselves. Finally, I thank you all for electing me as the leader of this group, and I will do my best in fulfilling all my duties. I would like to tell all the girls present here to take a stand and raise their voice. I admire you, I salute you, and I am with you. I want my UNYC family to join us, as without your support, we are nothing. Let's move together with commitment and involving teamwork to achieve women equality. For today we launch, but tomorrow we accomplish. It's time to stop following and start leading. Thank you.
False way about feminists sort of repulsing participation of men when it comes to addressing such issues. Okay, now that's the reason why I made it a point to be here and then be part of the jury. And then talking about the topic, I definitely disagree that does confinement connote safety and well-being for women? No, not really. Most of you constrained yourself just to the hostel timings and at the same time, different instances of assault, harassment. Yes, these are something that question, or probably these are something that problematize the whole notion of safety, but then no one spoke about what is safety for you. I mean, how do you define safety? As in, is it probably going out in the night, or probably is it being able to exercise your will, or is it being able to exercise your choice, or being able to do what you want to do? How do you define safety, or not being hindered by someone when you are with your own self? That's something. Although I'm not a big fan of the father of the nation, Gandhiji. But then, I mean, I would sort of agree with him when he said, that, yeah, as in, freedom and safety is then when a woman could walk out or probably walk alone, independently and safe in the midnight, right? I definitely agree. And then I've witnessed and experienced spaces where women could walk around any time of the day. I mean, be it 2 a.m. in the morning or probably 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And still, we cannot be oblivion to the fact or probably to the instances of harassment which happen in mid-daylight and at the same time probably when it's slightly dark or probably midnight. Again, that questions as to what makes women vulnerable. As in, is this whole notion that is being infused by the society? Again, who is society? We, probably our parents and, you know, teachers, people around. Now this whole thing is infused into women right from she's a girl that, oh yeah, it's a bad world out there. I wouldn't say it's a very utopian world where everything is idle and then everyone is nice. But then, again, what makes you vulnerable? Is that because you're weak or probably the other person is a predator? That's another question that it opens up. Fine. I'm not done. I mean, this is something that I keep talking in my classes also, although this questions the very system that we all prevail in. But this is something that has been a burning question to me also. Now, what makes women vulnerable? And at the same time, we need, I don't say confinement as a rule or probably a restriction. I think as human beings, most of us, or probably a few of us, lack civic sense. I think we do not need restrictions, but then we need regulations. Or not rules, but then, regulation. In order to make sure that, probably not for women, but then even to make the place a more friendly or probably more comfortable for everyone around. Okay, so in that sense, I believe yes, we need regulations. But then, why regulations for only men, or why regulations for only women? If you being out makes you vulnerable, I think because there is a presence of other gender, which is again probably a wolf out on loose or predator out on loose, then probably I think we should confine or regulate that predator. I mean, why do we imprison perpetrators of heinous crime? Again, I mean, to stop them or to repeat the same to someone else. I think if presence of the other gender makes the women feel vulnerable, I think we should also start confining them. I mean, not locking just the girls, but then I think we should start locking the boys also. If that their very presence makes or questions the safety of the other gender. I had another thought, but then it just vanished. Again, I believe, I don't want to come across as quite cynical, but then I think the world or probably the society will be much safer when men would also start feeling vulnerable, or probably men would also start fearing to come out in the dark. I think that's the day when, probably we can say that yes, everyone is safe, or probably yes, women are safe. Again, as in this whole false notion of being safety, that confining to a closed space, this is one thing that is being sold out large, on a very big scale. As in, like, our parents buy it, very fondly. Oh yeah, as in, our kid, what gets locked before it gets dark, yeah, she's safe. Or probably, yeah, this is the safest place where I can have my kid study or probably pursue her further education or pursue her life, right? So this is something that we need to start shedding, okay? I mean, how does it start? I think if we all start talking our parents into this, and then we all start talking to our peers or probably talking to our neighbors about it, and then, educate them, yes, this is not what is safety. I think that is how we all can probably lead to a better definition of safety for women. I think I'll close with that. Thank you so much for everyone who has been here.
Yeah.